Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre. I'm Andrew Mayer, and I'm the Chief Executive of the Midlands Aerospace Alliance, and so a warm welcome to everybody here today. We were delighted last September to start face-to-face meetings again, and it's great that we're doing this with you today, still taking into account some of the issues that we've got in terms of the seating here, but fingers crossed we'll be able to continue with these kind of meetings for the rest of the year. We decided some time ago that we needed to organise an event like this on Jet Zero and Net Zero for obvious reasons in terms of the global agenda, in terms of the environment, but also because our industry in the Midlands can contribute potentially a great deal towards some of the technical solutions to the issues that we have. We have a fantastic aerospace industry in the region, brilliant people working on new technologies, and we wanted to bring some of that together so that we can map out a little bit of what we're doing. And in fact, Chris, who's beside me, who organised the conference today, with Emma Burgess, one of my colleagues, is working on that and mapping the kind of capability that we've got in the region to make sure that we're all working together better on addressing these questions. Similarly, we realise that we've got lots of smaller companies which can contribute through their own net zero work to reduce their own emissions, and Chris has brought both of those factors together for us today. So a warm welcome to you. I'll be here for the whole day. Great to meet everybody again. Look forward to networking later, and I'll hand over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and welcome everyone. And it's great to have such a full house, given the spacing requirements. Okay, so I'm just going to add to the introductions by just reminding people the Midlands Aerospace Alliance, we're one of the world's largest aerospace alliances, regional alliances in the world. We have over 300 members, and we run a number of working groups in business, technology development and supply chain. But we also oversee the Aerospace Up program, this is why today is a free event as such, and also you get a lunch thrown in as well, so can't be bad. This is an opportunity though, hopefully today will be an opportunity for you to perhaps think about ideas and innovation opportunities, and Aerospace Up could be, for a small, medium-sized sort of business, an opportunity to get actual grant funding to support that. So have a think about that, and in the exhibition hall we have a stand right by the entrance, and you can get more information from our colleagues there. Just a little bit more on admin. There is no planned rehearsal for fire, drill or whatever, so if the alarm does go off, we'll leave this building out through the entrance you came in and congregate in the car park. And we'll get instructions from there. So, Jet Zero Midlands. So what aren't we going to cover today? So I'm not going to spend an awful lot of time debating the needs of whether the rights or wrongs of the human race and how it needs to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We're not necessarily going to talk very much about the targets that have been set and whether net zero is the right measure, etc. However, what we are going to look at are two themes which are interlinked. One is the aircraft technology that gets us on the road to lower or zero emissions, and then the other journey we have, which is to get our businesses working on a plan for lower and ultimately zero emissions. I would like to take this opportunity, because sometimes it gets a bit crammed at the end, just to pause and thank people. Certainly I'd like to thank all our speakers today. They've given up a fair chunk of their time, and they've provided us with really interesting and quite lengthy presentations, which we're looking forward to getting through. We have got an ambitious programme, so on that subject I hope you can accept that it's going to be a bit of a takeaway, some messages, and maybe we'll get to the deeper detail in other sessions. I also appreciate the support of the NTC. It's a fantastic facility. Santina's been superb in the background, putting us through some of the challenges we've had in organising this, and also my colleagues in the MAA, in particular Emma Burgess, as Andrew mentioned, Max team, and just might change microphone and say, what I'll do is I'll try and, I don't know if that works better, but and also technology manager colleagues in the MAA, and Liz in particular, who's volunteered to run the Slido app, which I'll come on to in a second, and Pamela for her support in the preparation for this, and also for digesting the key messages that our speakers make. So, as I said, it's an ambitious programme, so questions and answers. So questions, please do raise them. Please use the Slido app. You can either do it by going online and registering that code, or using the QR code. It should be in your pack, but we will remind you. And then what we'll do is we'll collate these. We won't have time probably to answer all of them right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them all, clarify and combine as necessary, and then we'll email them back to attendees with all the answers from our learned speakers. We do have opportunities to cover some of these topics in the day, but we won't get, I don't think, all your questions answered today. So, today we're going to start off with the low-no greenhouse gas emission aircraft technology, have a break, look at some enabling technologies. Now, we haven't got time to look at all of them, so what we've done is we've done a bit of a deep dive into electric and fuel cells in the region. Then we have lunch, then we go on to the sort of business side of net zero, the regional policy, the emissions, the scopes, and have a break and look at some case studies, support and funding that's available, and close. So I'd just like to advertise the depth of our region. As I think most of you are aware, the Midlands has a prime in Rolls-Royce and Tier 1 aerospace suppliers of equipment systems such as Collins Aerospace, Moog and Meggitt. But we have a wealth of underlying and supporting manufacturing industry and services, test facilities, academia, research organisations and universities. So it's very rich, and so it's no surprise really that we find that we have people working on technologies directly relevant to reducing emissions. Even aircraft weight is new materials and additive layer manufacture can create weight-reduced systems. And by the way, quick apology, or these lists of companies are just examples. It's not exhaustive. My job is to get an exhaustive list, but work in progress. But so please don't be offended if you don't see your name up here. Heat exchangers, which we'll see later on in the presentation, is very key technology. Sustainable fuels feedstock being developed by a number of companies in this area. Combustion, if we still rely on combustion, then we have Rolls-Royce and the amazing facility at Loughborough. Engines, obviously a gas turbine capability, but also rotary engine technology. Fuel and control systems, hydrogen infrastructure being developed, which we'll hear about later on today, and the electric and fuel cell, where we've got a wide range, all the way from air vehicle design, such as Samuel, who are going to speak later, batteries, connectors and cabling, power electronics, battery charging, motors and drives, fuel cells, which we'll hear from today, and system and subsystem test facilities. So really a rich area. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to my colleague Tendra to tell you about one of the facilities in the area, which the University of Nottingham and the IAT. Thank you, Tendra.
Thank you very much, Chris, for the really good introduction. I'm just going to give you 3 slides, and they're very picture heavy. Why are we doing this? So this is us at COP26 in Glasgow last year, and it was really emotionally touching to see all the experiences that people are having around climate change. It's not something that is going away, it's real. We may not see all the effects of it here in this country, but around the world there are people that are being affected on a daily basis. These weather events are happening, and it's a call to arms for us to do something about it now and not wait around for things to happen. But we got to take a leap, and we got to look at how technology develops and have those first examples and try to enter into, for our industry, which is a hard to abate industry. We're not as hard to abate as the steel industry and concrete and construction, which makes up a lot of these emissions, but it's hard because yes, we can get electric cars, but what are we going to do about aircraft? And we all want to travel, and we want to travel more and more. So people are taking those leaps, right? What can we do as a supply chain in the Midlands to help that, right? So recently, Rolls-Royce have broken electric flight speed record with their electric aircraft, which they've developed with Electroflight, using some state-of-the-art motors and power electronics that are available now. It's off-the-shelf technology which has been integrated into this. It's a demonstration, it can happen, right? What's the next leap, right? There are companies out there in the UK that are developing technologies and that are really interested in taking that forward in the market. Like, this is just one example, Electric Aviation Group. We've got our colleagues from SAMAD who are going to be presenting later this morning. So these technologies are happening, these aircraft programs are happening, and what can we as Midlands supply chain do to make sure that we're ready for the challenges of this and we don't repeat some of the seismic shifts that had happened in the past around this region, where things like coal mining disappeared gradually or even overnight in some places, and we were left with really having to undergo real structural change. Now we've got a really vibrant aerospace industry, right? It's all centered around the gas turbine. Yes, there are technology developments to happen there, and a lot of companies in this room today are part of that supply chain. How do we make ourselves resilient to also be part of the supply chain for aircraft like EAGs and SAMADs and etc. So we've started this journey. We've already been building some of these machines. On the top right, on the top left, you see a helicopter primary flight control electromechanical actuator. It's already been tested, already working closely. Whenever I go to an air show, I see that thing on Lieber's stand as a showpiece. And it's the piece they go and they showed it to Angela Merkel at the last Berlin air show. So these things are happening. We've achieved 43 Newton meters per kilogram and 184 kilometer newtons per litre, which is still the record for torque density for a direct drive electromechanical actuator to take an aircraft, an Airbus A320, against a 5% incline at Frankfurt Airport. That's been proven on Safran's rolling runway testbed in Vérizay in France to TRL-5. These technologies are here. The technology you see on the bottom left, that was on Safran helicopter engines turboprop demonstrator. It's the hybridization of their engine. You look at the size of that machine, it's about this thick. It's 40 kilowatts, and what you're doing with that machine is you're hybridizing a turboprop engine, so you can do green taxi using battery power on the ground. So these technologies are there. That's the machine stripped down from, without the casing. Integrated power electronics. What you see here now, so we've got those machines, we've got the facilities, we can manufacture, we can do testing of power electronics, motors, drives, etc. We've now got, we will have by the end of May, 22 megawatt capability in Nottingham for testing electric motors, drives. All these things are here for people to come and use. What you see on the top right is a testing facility for aero engine transmission systems. We can do manufacturing. We can even do things like, that is something we did with Airbus, looking at electromechanical launch using a railgun. So that's a railgun technology designed for A320 launch using electric power. So how do we package that up? What I'm here to tell you today is these things are existing. We're not very good at shouting about them in the Midlands. Let's work together to make things happen. come along, you can come and use some of these facilities, you can come and work with us. There is a lot of capability that's housed within the supply chain around the Midlands and in Scotland and in the Southwest and in all parts of the country. If we just engage and we work together, we cut through all the red tape that there is and start making things happen, we can make the UK the place and the Midlands the place to really drive this revolution in getting our emissions down. And that's what today is all about. So I really look forward to listening to the talks today and really using this as a way of catalysing the industry, of making us work together. And we've got excellent programs that have been funded by government, like Fly Zero, which Nigel's going to speak about in the next talk. And this is our opportunity now to build back greener, better, faster, and really make things work for the industry from the bottom up, with the supply chain in tow, and really make a difference. That's all I wanted to say this morning. Thank you very much.